It's Dee Sturgess for Bums on Seats. I'm the Director of Talent and Training here at Bums. And joining me today as part of our No to Last Orders campaign, the fight against hospitality closure in 2023, is the lovely Mark Robson, Managing Director of New Dawn Pub. So hi, Mark.
Hi, morning. How are we doing?
I'm not too bad.
Good.
So, Mark, tell us a little bit about New Dawn Pubs and the wonderful operation that you've got in Surrey and Hampshire.
Yeah, we have 5 pubs in and around Surrey and Hampshire, all high quality, mainly destinational pubs located just outside of major towns of Farnham and Guildford. So right in the suburbs, serving very grateful and loving communities and delight them with good food, good service and all things local, and very proudly serving the communities that we have done for many years, and navigating our way through this fairly choppy period that we're all facing at the moment.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I would say to anyone that's listening, if you haven't visited a New Dawn pub, I have been lucky enough to pop in when I'm in the Hampshire area, and they're absolutely gorgeous and the food is amazing. Also, Mark, you are involved with the BII as well, is that right?
Yeah. I'm chairman of the BII, and I have been for 5 or so years now. Very, very lucky to be involved. Really, really fortunate. Truly amazing group of people that run and steer the BII. I think it's a fantastic charity and trade body in our sector, and it's proved its worth and its relevance over the last few years, particularly through the COVID pandemic, supporting 10,000 members, licensees up and down the countries, and making sure their challenges, their thoughts, their comments, their opportunities are all channeled into government, working with the other key trade bodies in the industry to make sure that we communicate key things into the right areas of government, and just doing everything we can to support our members and to help them overcome some of the issues and challenges that they face in running their pubs. So very, very lucky, and really enjoy being involved in the BII, although my involvement is quite remote and I sort of sit on the periphery, but I sort of interact with Steve and the senior team and of course the other trustees that we have, just to make sure that we're going in the right direction and doing everything we can from a board level to support all of our members.
Amazing. Yeah, I agree. Some really, really valuable work, especially over the last few really challenging years. So, Mark, I'm obviously really keen to get some input and for you to tell us a little bit more with your experience around some of the current challenges that we've got in the industry at the moment. So just wanted to ask you, how do you think you found the current cost of living crisis has changed guest behaviour and consumer behaviour for what you've seen in your own venues?
Well, I suppose firstly, I feel we're quite fortunate in that we operate in areas where people are generally fairly affluent and they've got a good level of disposable income. It doesn't mean it's, we're not affected, because we certainly are, but we are somewhat sheltered from some of the challenges and perhaps not as exposed as other sort of geographical parts of the country. But I suppose the main trend that we are seeing is that people are probably venturing out less frequently, and really looking for a memorable and enjoyable experience when they do visit our locations. So I think that shift towards premiumisation that we've seen over the last probably 5 or more years in the industry is still very, very valid, and it's still very much ongoing. And I think more than anything else, we've had to make sure that we are consistent and we are delivering everything that we say to our customers we'll deliver. And actually, I remember well going through the last recession, and that was a long, deep, hard recession. And actually, again, getting the basics right and focusing on really top standards and driving consistency was key. And it's always stayed with me as we sort of navigated through that period. So it is a challenge. There's a lot of competition out there. People, like I say, are definitely, in my opinion, venturing out less often. But when they go out, they want it to be special. And for us, it's making sure that that we deliver that.
Absolutely. I mean, it's very much what we've seen across all our clients in the sector, that as you say, that although people are visiting less, they've actually become more discerning in expect really high memorable experience. And obviously, if people have only got a limited amount of money to spend socially, we need to obviously make sure that really counts, don't we?
Yeah, I think you're right, but it's also, one of the things I hate about the level of inflation that's running in the country at the moment, and we're seeing it across the raft of products, be it food, drink, labour, chemicals, whatever it is that it kind of almost backs you into a corner where you've got to put your prices up, and I hate pubs veering into that space where they become special occasion territory only, and that's, in my view, that's quite a dangerous area to operate in. We want to be pubs that you can nip out on a Tuesday night or a Thursday lunch for a quick bite or a quick drink with your friend or your partner or what have you. We always expect to be busy Friday night, Saturday and Sundays, but the midweek part is so important to us. So I think it's combining that value piece where people can come out relatively affordably at a sensible price and dine during times where we're not naturally busy, but then obviously maintaining margin at the peak times and delivering good quality.
Absolutely. So Mark, tell me, how have you as a business approached the current recruitment crisis that we've now had for some time across hospitality, but obviously the current challenges that we have at the moment just seem to have impacted on this even more. Is there any sort of one way that you've managed to get round this, or any particular solutions that you've found?
I think for us, previously, I obviously founded and ran Red Mist for a long time, and we were a much bigger business, employing probably at our peak around 300 staff. And it becomes very challenging when you get to that sort of number and beyond to maintain the levels of retention that you want and to attract people or the right talent into your business. Not insurmountable, as we see with lots of successful companies across the sector. Obviously, having sold out of Red Mist last year and created New Dawn, we're now a much smaller business, probably half that headcount, maybe 120, 130 in staff numbers. So as a senior team, we're much closer to our people. And I think from a retention point of view, that makes an enormous difference. When we started New Dawn, it was one of the things we really wanted to focus on was, upping our quality and our standards right the way across the board. And that's not just food and drink, but that includes our people as well. So I think for us, as a smaller, slightly niche business in the sector, I think we are somewhat insulated from the recruitment challenges that I know still exist out there. However, having said that, I do think, and certainly from talking to operators, I do think those challenges have probably eased as the company sort of heads towards, or certainly flirts with, a recession. I think there are less economic opportunities out there, less employment opportunities out there, and therefore I think that probably adds more supply and probably weakens demand, which generally helps with recruitment. But that's not to say that we can't, we've still got to do the things that we know are crucially important, and we've got to work on our engagement of our teams and the retention of our teams. We've got to make sure that we are a really attractive employer. We've got a great suite of perks, benefits, opportunities, development plans for people to work with. But also, we've got to have a culture in the business that is really positive, energetic, pragmatic, so that people want to work there, and when they start working, that they want to stay. And actually, for me, that's the thing I find is the most significant part of retaining people. It's the culture that you build within the people you've got, particularly around your head chefs and general managers, who really set the tone at site level. Absolutely. So we've worked hard on that. We've still got some work to do on that front. But yeah, for us, we're not doing anything radically new or different. A lot of the longer term strategies that we have around developing people and apprenticeships and promoting loyalty within our team still remain, but we've really worked on our culture to make sure that we are fun, inclusive and enjoyable business to work for, where people hopefully get a great deal of satisfaction out of their jobs and their roles.
Amazing. And how have you found making sure that you're completely inclusive and diverse within both your recruitment and your retention? Have you done any specific work on that, or do you feel that's something that's always been in existence in part of your business culture?
I think it has always been in existence in art. In fact, I know it's always been in existence. I think the difference is that we recognise and talk about it a lot more now, and we stop and take a breath and make sure that we check ourselves and make sure we're doing it. I think I know, for as long as I've been in pubs and the last 20 years, we've always been diverse. We've always had diverse workforce. We've always been inclusive in every aspect of our employment. But I think now we're a bit more aware of making sure that we are setting the the level in the right way, and that we are promoting the right initiatives. And look, for me, we do specific training on this. We do, we have an online module as part of people joining us that they need to undertake that covers a lot of this stuff, which is actually a really, really good module. I've done it myself a couple of times. But we talk about it regularly, and I think for me, the most important thing is having the right tone and the right culture in the business. If you set that bar high where people know what's acceptable, what's not acceptable, and that we are a very loving, caring, fully inclusive business, then actually you don't need to continually stop and tell people. It flows throughout the business in all areas. And yeah, I'm really happy with where we are on that front.
That's great. Yeah, it becomes part of your day-to-day working.
It does. It does, very much so.
Culture. No,
that's right. Yeah.
So, Mark, let's talk innovations. Now, I know obviously you have got your own loyalty scheme at New Dawn, but tell me about how you've used this and any new innovations that have been put in place to drive guest loyalty or to actually capitalise on special occasion bookings.
Special occasion bookings generally is not something we need to drive particularly hard, because that they are, and I'm talking about Burns Night, Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, of recent, they are occasions where we naturally have strong demand. So for us, the loyalty or the activation we like to get from our loyalty is filling our pubs at a time where we have less demand. So we run a really good members hour between 4:30 and 6 o'clock in all of our pubs. So anybody that's on our loyalty scheme has got the app and come in, scan the QR code, and they get a 15% discount on all prices. And it's incredibly popular, particularly with people that are stopping in the pub on the way home from work. As I said earlier, we're a key part of local communities, so we get a lot of that. And also, for example, we have just launched, or fairly recently have launched, a corporate tier to our loyalty club that is specifically designed at attracting business customers into our pubs Monday to Friday, and offering them slightly higher level where they can earn sort of points to redeem for vouchers. So yeah, it works great actually. I've always kind of said I think our loyalty scheme is our best marketing tool. And I think it's about how we apply that and how we utilize it, and also getting the guys in the units on board with it, so that they encourage customers to sign up. And actually, to that effect, we've now taken away all of our staff in our pubs get 30% discount on food, drink, and accommodation. But we've taken that sort of button off the till, if you like, and now activated it through the loyalty scheme. So now our staff to sign up for the loyalty scheme themselves, which previously they weren't allowed to do, and to get their own discount, they use it as well. So it gets them using it a little bit more and gets them a bit more interactive with it, which again gives them more confidence when they're in front of guests. They get used to talking about it. They understand how it works in every way, the different benefits and perks you can get from it. So for us, it's not a particularly innovation, but it's one that's really, really important for us. I suppose the one thing that I would touch on from an innovation point of view, and this is linked into the energy crisis that we're right in the middle of, is that we over the last few months have installed voltage management systems across our pubs, which is quite a new bit of technology that essentially moderates the voltage that electricity comes into your properties, it generally comes in the high 240s, and it reduces that down to 220. And actually, you make an instant saving by installing these systems. You make a saving of anywhere between sort of 9 and about 20%. I think we've witnessed on electricity just by installing them. And we were actually looking at this pre-COVID in 2019 and didn't decide to go forward with it because of COVID. But the payback then was over 2 years, and now that payback is well under 12 months, and sometimes it's nearly as short as 6 months. So I think that's a really key innovation, and I'm just waiting to get a bit more data out of that. And I think it's something that other operators should definitely be looking at.
That's amazing, Mark. Thank you. That's super useful. I would think any operators listening would be really, really interested in that. So I might take you up on the info on that, so we can obviously pass that on to anyone. But Mark, thank you so much for joining me today and giving up part of what I know is always a really, really busy day for you and the guys there at New Dawn. And I look forward to chatting to you soon. And thanks very much for your tips and advice.
You're very welcome, Dee. Good luck with everything, and look forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you.